What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Edgar Wright film, Baby Driver. Baby Driver is written and directed by Edgar Wright of the Cornetto trilogy fame, films like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and At World's End. This film stars Ansel Elgort, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, Lily James, Jon Hamm, Jon Bernthal. It's got a really big cast. Baby Driver tells the story of Baby, a getaway driver for robberies. He works for Kevin Spacey in repaying a debt. Now, he works with different characters along the way that are played by Jon Hamm and Jon Bernthal and Jamie Foxx and all these other criminals while they go on their escapades, and he is always their getaway driver. But of course, throughout the story, things get deeper and deeper, and things begin to get a little more darker, and Baby doesn't know how it's all going to play out. Now, if you've ever seen an Edgar Wright movie like Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz, you know that all of his films sort of just gush this great style. They always have a really specific mood and tone that they take, and they sell it every single minute of that film, and this movie is no different. It invests itself heavily in amazing music and performances and a super cool script. Like, cool is the best word to describe the script for this film, because it's such an interesting combination of different movies and different genres. And as I just said, the music in this film is phenomenal. The whole movie relies so heavily on the music that Ansel Elgort's character plays because he has a hum in his ear from an accident he was in as a kid, so he wears headphones and listens to music all the time to drown out that hum, and it helps him focus. So the music plays a big role throughout the film, but then also every single sound effect in this movie has just a rhythm to it. Everything in this movie feels very rhythmic and has a pattern to it, and it makes it all sound so awesome. The direction from Edgar Wright is of course phenomenal throughout the whole movie. There is some really impressive cinematography a couple moments in this film that really surprised me, because Edgar Wright has always proven to be a great writer, and his direction has always been solid, but he really proved that he has some chops when it comes to getting some really impressive shots in films with this movie, and I really enjoyed that. And then of course his writing is great. It is a solid mix of drama and comedy, but the comedy never comes off as a cheesy sort of oh, it was there to kind of get a laugh even though this is a serious moment. It all melds really well with these characters that he builds up and gives a lot of depth to, so that way each one has their own personality and they don't sort of just feel like wishy-washy, generic characters. All of the car chases are amazing, and there's even one foot chase in this movie that's super cool. And like I said, this whole movie is just cool. That's the best word to describe it, because it has this great music, and every single action sequence is filmed awesomely. The car chases are invigorating and energizing, and the foot chase sequence is exciting and riveting to watch. And every single action sequence has the right amount of a dramatic feeling, but also still having a fun, not necessarily light-hearted, but you understand how it fits into this story, so it doesn't take the movie to this overly dark place, even though there is some pretty serious action moments in this film. And the performances from everyone involved are great. Ansel Elgort really impressed me in this movie. Thus far in his career, he hasn't really done a lot, and I think that he hasn't really proven to everyone that he could be a star, but I think this movie solidifies that this kid can lead a movie and be really great in a role. Jamie Foxx is phenomenal in this film. He gives an amazing supporting performance. Kevin Spacey is great. Jon Hamm is great. Jon Bernthal is great. Everyone involved in this movie does a great job. And I think that that's the one thing about this movie that was the most impressive to me, is the way that he was able to take these characters who have all these different personalities and put them in this sort of really odd situation where they have to interact with each other. But while they're interacting, it doesn't change the tone of the film. The tone still has sort of a medium level lightheartedness. It has some darker scenes and it has some more lighthearted scenes, but it all meshes together so perfectly, and it never feels like it's oh, this movie doesn't know what it's doing. It just wants to show us all this stuff. It all meshes and it all sort of flows and makes for a movie that has a lot of rhythm and definitely a lot of passion that was put into it. Now, that being said, the script did have a few sequences in it that sort of felt out of place, or they felt a little exposition-y maybe. They weren't bad scenes. I still enjoyed the sequences, but just looking at how the rest of the movie flowed so perfectly, there were a couple that just sort of stuck out as being that one sort of felt like it was just placed so we could get a little more explanation of the story. It didn't destroy the movie or ruin the flow or anything, it was just a little bland. The movie also sort of has this weird manner of making it so some of the characters almost seem like they're like semi-superhuman. They're not like invincible or anything like that, but they just have these like really crazy abilities, and the ways that they're able to move around and do all this stuff seems just kind of impossible. And it doesn't hurt the film, but with the way the movie built such a realistic world, there were just a few moments that were kind of like, how? Like, how did that happen? That's not a thing that people can do, but it still worked somehow with the way the film flowed. It just sort of stuck out and was like, that doesn't really make sense, yet somehow it still works, sort of. But both of those were honestly pretty small things that were wrong with the movie. The one main thing that kind of disappointed me about this film was specifically two cast members. And I'm not gonna spoil anything about the role they play in the film or anything like that, but I just think that the fact that they casted Jon Bernthal and then also Jon Hamm, I feel that their roles should have been switched in the film. I think that Jon Bernthal should have been playing Jon Hamm's position and vice versa. And when you see the movie, I think some people would agree, some people might not. I personally think that Jon Bernthal would have just fit better in the role that Jon Hamm was playing, and then Jon Hamm could have fit better as Jon Bernthal's role. And it's not a big thing, but it just sort of bugged me because I think that Jon Bernthal is so good in the big action sequences and big stuff like that, and I felt that there were some moments that would have worked better with him rather than Jon Hamm. I'm gonna give Baby Driver an A-. This is a phenomenal, original Hollywood film, and I was so pleased to see that the theater I was in was almost sold out when I went to see it. Please go see this movie. It is amazing, and it is a great time to see in theaters. I honestly will probably see it a second time. I had so much fun with it, and I really just think it's important to support original films like this. This is what we're losing in Hollywood, are these sort of weird, quirky, original stories. This is this year's Nice Guys, and Nice Guys didn't end up making all the money it needed to last year. Shane Black's hilarious Ryan Gosling film, and I don't want that to happen with Baby Driver, so please check it out in theaters. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of Baby Driver, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and hope to see you guys later.